We have our opponent at 18 because we can clock them for 2 with the Dryad. They get Oblivion Stone and play it. Alright, so our opponent is almost certainly just dead. Sorry, opponent, you do not get to survive this turn. Hello, and welcome, everybody. We are here for match 4 with the list that you see on screen. We are playing some Karn, the Great Creator, and so far we're doing alright. We're 3-0 so far, so looking to do a little better maybe, but regardless, let's just hop in here for match 4 and see what kind of damage we can do. Alrighty, let's hop in here for the match. On the draw against RXB Coat 31. And we have a turn 1 Amulet, turn 2 Dryad, turn 3 Titan kind of hand. So, I mean, obviously we're going to snap keep that one against Urza's Power Plant Expedition map. I mean, having the turn 3 Titan with Dryad already in play is quite good against Tron. I'm trying to debate if there's any reason to try to lead on Cavern here in case our opponent's on Blue Tron, but I feel like that's unlikely, so I'm just going to lead on the Forest anyways. Leaves our green options open later on. Our opponent plays Tower and passes. Unfortunately, we do have to be on the draw this particular game, so turn 3 Titan might not even be good enough on the draw here. We'll see. We also want to try to play around our opponent Karn minusing on Amulet, so we probably want to leave as much mana in play here as possible, hence why I'm leaving the Growth Chamber in play. I mean, we also have the other Growth Chamber in hand here, and I think it's probably fine to just play out the Valakut here, so we'll pass it back. Now if they Karn minus on Dryad, we can pack for Azusa and then pack for Titan, and put a Titan into play and haste and attack it, and maybe be able to pay for 2 Summoner's Pacts. We'll have to do some math on that, just to see what happens. Our opponent, of course, maps for Urza's Mine, and plays it. What else would you expect? See what their threat is. Maybe it's a Wormcoil Engine? If it's Karn the Great Creator, that might not actually be good enough. We'll let this go, especially since we have Valakut already in play. So I'm a little curious as to what the idea is here. Like, if they minus for Bridge and play it, then we can possibly play Titan with Valakut triggers already ready to go. It's interesting. We have our opponent at 18 because we can clock them for 2 with the Dryad. They get Oblivion Stone and play it. Alright, so our opponent is almost certainly just dead. Sorry, opponent, you do not get to survive this turn. Now we just gotta make sure we do it right. So it starts by playing Growth Chamber twice. We could Grazer out a land and see if that lets us get to... I mean, we're actually just attacking them for lethal anyway, so we don't really need to mind too much. I don't think we play the Crumbling Vestige, which makes this slightly awkward. We're gonna be up to 6 lands when we attack with our Titan, though, so we're good here, regardless. But Crumbling Vestige would make this very trivial. Here's a Titan. We're going to cast said Titan, and we'll get Valakut and Slayers, and use this to make a white with a Dryad ability. And then we'll attack and get a bajillion Valakut triggers. So we want Valakut, Slayer Stronghold. We'll float a red and a white, and we will haste Primeval Titan. We'll go to combat. Swing everything at them. Get Vesuva copy Valakut and fetch land, and the game is super over. We'll save these targets upstairs, stack some Amulet triggers, and then always yes, always yield a couple times, and that is the game. Honestly, I was a little worried when our opponent had turn 3 Tron on the play that we might just get turn 3 Karn and not be able to win, but then they played Karn the Great Creator instead of Big Karn. Not the Karn I was expecting. That also would have been right for them to minus for the bridge, Ensnaring Bridge, instead of the O-Stone, just so we couldn't attack. But I think we probably still would have had lethal then, especially thanks to this Grazer. Alright. Against Tron, we obviously want Ghost Quarter. Gotta change the sort. We'll do by color, I suppose. That's a little easier to deal with. So obviously, Karn getting Liquid Metal Coating is extremely good against our opponent, so we obviously want access to that. We want Foundation Breaker, and probably Force of Vigor also, specifically to deal with things like Ensnaring Bridge or our opponent's Liquid Metal Coating. Things along those lines, so we want to bring these in, and Oblivion Stone as well. I think that Breaker is a little more reasonable than Force of Vigor, as Force of Vigor is kind of a dead card otherwise, but I think it's probably worth it. We can trim a Grazer. We can trim the Cavern. We're never going to be using it. Radiant Fountain doesn't matter. And the last slot, huh? Could just be a fetch land. I don't hate that. It could be a Summoner's Pact. I don't hate that either. Only one Titan is needed to do what we need to do, so I want to keep as many Grazers as possible for the possibility of a turn 2 Karn on the play. Or not on the play, on the draw, but interesting. We get turn 1 Saga, turn 2 Explore out a Garenbrig, turn 3 Titan if we draw it. Again, we're on the draw, so depending on what our opponent's turn 3 play is, it's debatable, but I mean, we gotta try it, right? Hopefully they don't just, like, Nature's Claim our Urza Saga. That is definitely possible, especially if they lead on a Star or Sphere here. Might be wary of that if that is the case. They lead on map, so okay. Well, they're gonna have turn 3 Tron here, most likely. We'll play out the Saga and pass. Now we just have to hope that our Explorer draw plus our upcoming top deck, and then the top deck after one of those three has to be a Titan. Well, there's a Titan. Okay. Okay. So there's a chance. I mean, our opponent definitely has turn 3 Tron on us, though, which is quite unfortunate. Obviously, we still have to explore here and do all the things. Do we play out the Garenbrig? I think that we do. So either that or playing out a Sanctuary, and I think the Garenbrig is probably just the better play. Not exposing a bounce land. They could potentially minus Karn on a bounce land or something and put us way behind if we played out Sanctuary there, so. They, of course, get their last remaining Tron piece and a Power Plant. See if they have the Karn Liberated here. If they do, I would assume they minus on the Saga. If they don't, our Primeval Titan can set up Ghost Quarter and just blow up a Tron land like nobody's business. Ooh, they have the Little Karn again. Interesting. Let's see if they go for Bridge this time. Maybe they just don't play Bridge. They get Coding. That's pretty good. That is pretty good. If they Coding the Garenbrig, we still have... Nah. Alright, we'll go to our main phase here. I was going to say we still have a way to cast Titan, but not really. Interesting. So this allows us to draw a Zusa or Grazer, and we'll still be able to Titan, so not going to activate for the token here. Didn't find it, which is unfortunate. We could get Map and just map for Ghost Quarter. I don't know if we can beat Karn blowing up a land every turn. Even if we were to Ghost Quarter their Tron, I think we kind of just have to get Amulet and hope that that's going to be good enough. We'll explore here, I suppose, to see if we hit second Amulet, maybe. No. I guess we can play Windswept Heath. Seems fine. Oh, we get to play 2 land drops, of course, so we'll play the Sunhome also. We'll pass. Now if they Karn destroy Garenbrig, we can still draw Azusa or Grazer or second Amulet and be able to cast Titan regardless. And if they don't hit the Garenbrig, let's say they hit the Breeding Pool instead or the Sunhome, then we actually just have Titan this upcoming turn. Might not be good enough, though. We're lucky that these Explorers got us out ahead of the Karn Liquid Metal Coating thing because it gives us a chance to potentially cast Titan. If we hadn't done any ramping up until this point, this Karn plus Coating would probably just end the game, and it probably still has ended the game, to be honest, but especially if they have another threat here. I guess they could also minus for O-Stone and play land and pass, and then we probably just can't win, period. I guess we'd play a Titan, and on it resolving, we get Ghost Quarter and something else and try to play through it. Like Ghost Quarter second Garenbrig, maybe? I don't know. Yeah, that would be difficult. We probably just lost this game to Karn the Great Creator, only because we didn't already have something on board by the time the Karn hit. At least we have to be on the play for the third game. I suppose we could also draw a Karn of our own. That would help us against the coding as it deactivates it, and we can minus for something. They minus for Wormcoil Engine. Eldrazi Temple. So this is Eldrazi Tron. Okay, I was expecting more of like Green Tron here. That is slightly different. They're going to play Wormcoil here, I have to assume. Yep. Huh. Well, we're not losing a land. That's Chalice on 0. That's fine. Well, now our Force of Vigors are actually much better, because Green Tron doesn't usually play Chalice of the Void. Alright, we'll just untap here and draw. Assume they coding the Garenbrig. Coding the Sunhome. Sure. I guess that means we can't double strike Titan, potentially, but this does let us get Titan into play. Ironically, if they had coding the Garenbrig, then we would have been able to play Titan with this Grazer anyways, but, Well, I guess we'll start by playing out the land. And if we play the Grazer here anyways, we can leave a white floating and then haste off of Valakut and the Slayers, so that way if we top deck a Dryad or set it up after we attack, assuming we do attack, then there's, like, a chance. Do we want to leave the Growth Chamber, not the Growth Chamber, the Sanctuary in play? I feel like we do. We can always just Grazer in one of the other ones. I'm going to pick up the Sunhome here, so they can't destroy it with Karn this upcoming turn, I think. We'll play Grazer. We'll put in Sanctuary. And I think our Titan's just getting Ghost Quarter and something else. Maybe like Tolaria West or something. Now we activate leaving the white floating. Interesting. Actually, we could leave a blue floating and get Tolaria West, but it's not like we can actually transmute this turn if we do that. Leaving the white floating is only relevant if we want to haste and attack through the Worm Coil. I guess if we attack through the Worm Coil at the Karn, and they block and trade, the Karn dies, which is something that is probably worthwhile. And we have a second Titan ready to go. I guess it doesn't play around Thought-Knot Seer, however. And I also just realized we can't really set up a transmute for Dryad thanks to the Chalice on 0 anyways. I don't know, this is kind of a awkward situation. We have Sunhome, so we could potentially force our second Titan through blockers. I think we probably do need to get the Karn out of play, unfortunately for us. Alright, we'll pick up, I guess, just the basic forest. Seems fine. Here's a Titan. Yes, we want the Valakut and the Slayers. I guess we could be attacking into a potential Dismember. That would be not great. I don't think we can afford to play around that, though. Swinging at Karn. We'll hit yes. And here, we don't have Engineered Explosives, so there's no reason to set up Tolaria West. We could just get double Saga. We already have one Valakut in play. Double Saga doesn't seem bad. Ghost Quartering their Tron lands may not really be that relevant. I kind of feel like double Saga is the play. Because I don't think we can realistically beat them having more Tron spells, to be honest. It's not like they can minus Karn for something big anyways, like a Ballista or whatever. They have a couple turns on that at the very least, assuming their Karn even survives this turn, which it might not, so... Of course they block. This is fine. Yep. Yeah, and we're done. These sagas will set us up with an expedition map, which can set up another saga and a second amulet, I guess. We can haste our next Titan and probably even double strike it also with the Sunhome. They didn't have Dismember, by the way. They definitely would have cast it there if they had it. So if they have a Dismember from this point, it means they've drawn it. Smasher. That's fine. We might want to go ahead and take our little 3 damage block here. Are they not attacking? That would be kind of wild. I think, yeah, we do probably just want to block. I know we're only absorbing 3 of this damage because of the trample, but it's probably worth it. They have another Karn. That one really hurts. Now, Expedition Map does nothing if we get it. They can uptick on our Valakut and liquid metal coating it, or liquid metal coating the Valcut and then uptick to kill the Valcut, and then Dryad is no longer a good possible top deck. I mean, I guess if we top deck Dryad, we could play Dryad and then play Titan and get a bunch of Valcut triggers just by searching for our second Valcut, which is part of the reason why the deck plays 2 Valcuts in the first place, is because sometimes a single Valcut is just too narrow. Not too narrow, too few. If your opponent has a land destruction effect for the first one. They're minusing for an artifact, which is a little surprising to me. I wonder what they're going to get here. Maybe they don't expect their Karn to survive, so they want to get the minus out of it immediately. This means that if we top deck a Dryad, we probably just win, though. Because we play Dryad, we play Titan, get Valakut, Vesuva, copy Valakut, for a total of 2 times 3 is 6 triggers. It's 18 damage, and then we play land for 4 more triggers. So 6 plus 4, 10 total triggers is 30 damage. Yeah, so a Dryad off the top is just lethal here, assuming that they haven't drawn Dismember. I guess if they already had a second Karn, they might have just let the trade go with a Worm Coil so they could hold up Dismember for Dryad. That's not unreasonable. I don't think I would play around it, though. I think if we draw Dryad, we just go for lethal. I mean, I guess I didn't even consider the fact that we could haste an attack with our Titan. Yeah, this is fine. Okay. Interesting. Well, again, I think that we have to attack through into their Karn just to get it off the board. Which we can do with Double Strike thanks to the fact that we can play Sunhome for turn here. So we'll do the following, I guess. We have to tap the Saga if we want to leave the white floating. I guess we can Titan ETB gets... Oh, no, this is fine. We can activate leaving a white floating and still be able to stronghold so we can get whatever we want. The question is, what do we even want here? The attack is going to have to get Boros Garrison and something else. We could set up a Talari West in case we draw a Foundation Breaker or Force. That doesn't seem super great. I think, especially knowing they have Ballista, we probably want to set up Ghost Quarter here. And I guess maybe the other Saga makes sense. Ghost Quarter Saga seems to make sense to me, so that's what I'm going to go for. We'll go ahead and stronghold our Titan. We'll let this go. And we'll go to combat and attack with a Titan. Getting Boros Garrison. We want to attack Karn, though. We got to get Boros Garrison and something else. We need to make sure we have enough mana to activate Sunhome. So another bounce land would be activate Sunhome, 2 mana to activate Saga if we don't Ghost Quarter them. Actually, no, we can Ghost Quarter them, and then during their turn, our Saga that was made into an artifact by coding will be usable. So we can use this one of the coding Sagas and the new one to activate and still be able to fire off Ghost Quarter and do all the things we want to do here. So should be fine. I'm going to go ahead and get, I guess, Growth Chamber, so we have blue set up to transmute if we draw Talari West. Interesting. Okay, so... we do have to bounce 2 lands, which is kind of inconvenient. Let's start by activating Sunhome on the Titan. Just so that they can't block it with a Death Toucher. And I guess now we can pick up the Sunhome to keep it protected in case they have 3rd Karn, I guess. And then maybe Valakut for the same reason. I don't know if I care too much about picking up Valakut, though, to be honest. I wish we could pick up a Saga, but we kind of need all of our Sagas here, so... We'll pick up, I guess, the... Garen Brig. That seems fine. I block with a Death Toucher anyways. Okay. That doesn't do anything. Yeah. Okay, yeah, let's go ahead and fire off this Ghost Quarter on, I guess, Tower. What do they map for? I have no clue. Probably want to hit Tower just so that they have less mana if they top deck Tron anyways, though, because we're trying to shrink their Ballista by a decent margin. We also may not be able to block with our Titan because of that, by the way. Oh, we can actually even activate Saga now if we wanted to, but we don't need to, so we'll wait until the last possible second to make our construct, just so it gives them less room to interact with it. We'll probably be playing Sunhome and hasting and attacking again with Titan this upcoming turn, so we might be clawing out from underneath what our opponent has going on here. It's like a Ballista for 6? Oh no, they're tapping for the Eldrazi, so no, it's another Smasher. Huh, did they already play a land? No, they didn't. So they can still play land Ballista for 1 and kill our Titan if we block a Smasher here. I don't know that we have a choice but to block, though. We'll let them attack first. I think that we kind of have to block. Do we have to make a dude to chump the worm? I don't think so. Let's see. We take 8 down to 4. Ballista for 1 doesn't kill us. Yeah, I think we just block a Smasher and accept that if they have a land that we are losing our Titan. We have some constructs that might be able to take this game away. Oh, they didn't play it. Okay, well, that's good for us. Nice. Alright, we'll untap. I thought we had a pack to pay for. I guess not. We'll put some triggers on the stack and probably activate these Sagas before we go and sacrifice them. Alright, so yeah, let's go ahead and activate one of these Sagas here. And we'll do the same for the other one before they go. Make a huge board. And I think these Sagas might actually be taking the game away for us. Whew. It was looking very close. We'll get a map so we can set up a Talari West or something if we want it, and we'll get an amulet, of course. We'll play the Sunhome. We can Sunhome this, but we can't, because I tapped the Valcut, we can't haste it, but that's probably fine. We have a bunch of constructs on the block, so at 4, they can currently almost Ballista on 3. We might even consider cracking map for Radiant Fountain, but I think maybe we side out the Fountain. I don't know. Whatever. I'm just gonna Sunhome the Titan, I think. You know what? We could have hasted with the Stronghold and then gotten a red land on attack. That would have been way better, but oh well. We'll swing. Do we swing with the Construct too? I think we do, actually. I don't foresee them killing a Construct. I guess if they have Ugin to minus, but I think the 6-mana Ugin is a colored creature, isn't it? I'm gonna go look it up real quick. Okay, so the 6-mana Ugin the Ineffable, is destroy target permanent that's 1 or more colors. So even that one would not kill a construct. So I think it's fine to swing with both here. We can even activate Saga for a second construct, so we'll say yes here. And no Radiant Fountain. Kind of unfortunate. We'll get Gruul Turf as another red source, and I guess Vesuva, so we can copy Sunhome, perhaps? So we can double strike? Seems fine. Oh, we want to unyield to these triggers here. We'll untap and untap. I think we might as well go ahead and activate Sunhome on this construct also. And we'll activate our Saga here. And we'll pick up the Saga so we don't lose it. They're at 6, huh? Okay, well, yeah, we'll pass. I think Urza Saga is winning this game for us. Very nice to see. Working our way through a couple Karn the Great Creators. Could still be very nearly dead to Ballista if they top deck Tower, I suppose. That would be 7, 8, 9, 10. Ballista on 5 would kill us. Nothing we could have done about that, though, since we side out the Radiant Fountain. I think siding out Radiant Fountain is correct against Mono Green Tron, but probably not correct against Eldrazi Tron because of situations like this. especially involving Ballista, but just in general, they are trying to clock you down, and staying out of their reach, it's a good idea. Against Green Tron, though, Radiant Fountain is just an untapped source, which we already have plenty of in 4 copies of Urza Saga, so we don't really need Fountain in that matchup. Well, opponent, did you draw the Tron land? That is the question. Our opponent is tapping 4 mana. 3 mana. 2 mana. They said thinking, sorry. Well, I will edit this so it's not as long and confusing for you guys as it is for me, so. Alright, we win the match. Good games to our opponent. Well, that was cool. I kind of feel like I just stumbled into that. I guess getting the Sagas was a good choice, huh? Anyways, we are currently 4-0 with this list. Partially it's just because of the power of Amulettitan, I would say, but we've also seen some nice little Karn things here and there, so maybe in the last match we'll have a really good Karn the Great Creator match. Maybe we'll play against Control and resolve a Karn and do all the things that we want to be doing. But regardless, hopefully you enjoy this, and I will see you guys for the next match. This is Redface Menace, signing off.